Okay, it's time to go to work. That's right. That's right.
Welcome to 3Con Commentaries. This is your host, the magnificent Mongo Slade. And today we're going to talk about the changes on the WWE Network, which if you've been following my channel for a little while, you have to have been following it for several months. If we're being honest, it had to have been since at least April, because I said this was going to happen. I said that WWE is going to essentially sign the rights to the network over to Peacock. I basically said it was going to happen. There's 100 reasons why this makes sense. But for people who are like, okay, what is going on here? Let's go through it. I have two articles one from the Wrap, the other one's from Variety. Both of them pretty much say the same thing. But we're gonna read them, and I'm going to explain them for people who might be a little confused. So it says NBC. This is from Variety. Is January 25th, 2021. It says NBC Universal's Peacock soon will be the only place to watch WWE Network in the U.S. WWE and NBCU, or that'd be NBC Universal, reached a multi-year agreement giving Peacock exclusive streaming rights to WWE Network for American viewers. The over-the-top wrestling entertainment service's existing U.S. subscribers, about 1.1 million in total, will be migrated over to the Peacock Premium, where they'll continue to get access to WWE Network, but will pay 50% less per month while getting full access to the version of the Peacock Premium tier with ads. Peacock will launch WWE Network on March 18th, 2021, when Peacock will begin the rollout of more than 17,000 hours of WWE Network new, original, and library programming, both on demand and on a 24-hour channel. The NBCU streamer will have all WWE live events for no additional charge, including WrestleMania and SummerSlam, with Fastlane, the first event to stream on Peacock on Sunday, March 21st. WWE fans who would prefer to order events via traditional pay-per-view will still have that option. WWE Network will be available on Peacock Premium, which includes ads, for $4.99 per month, half the price of WWE's network's current $9.99 a month pricing. The no commercials Peacock Premium Plus plan, which includes $9.99 a month, also includes WWE Network. The companies plan to share details of how existing WWE Network subscribers in the U.S. will be switched to Peacock, whether they will be automatically subscribed to Peacock in the next few weeks. Nothing will change for the WWE Network subscribers outside the U.S. Financial terms of the Peacock deal were not disclosed. We feel great about the financials, otherwise we wouldn't have done the deal, said Nick Khan, WWE's president and chief revenue officer, who joined the company last August from CAA. To have WrestleMania in particular, which is our Super Bowl, available for no extra cost on Peacock is quite different from other models you're seeing. For Peacock, the WWE Network is a, quote, transformative addition, said Nick Cordella, Peacock's EVP and Chief Revenue Officer. We have a lot of data that shows live events and sports drives a lot of user acquisition, he said. The bet is that there exists much larger total available audience for WWE programming that is on WWE Network today. Okay. NBCU and WWE have been partners for almost 30 years, starting in 1993 with the Monday Night Raw in USA. WWE has always, quote, WWE has always tapped into the cultural zeitgeist with spectacular live events and larger-than-life characters, and we are thrilled to be exclusive home for WWE Network and its millions of fans across the country, said Cordella. In the third quarter of 2020, WWE Network had average paid subscribers of 1.6 million, down about 60,000 from the prior quarter, but an increase of 6% year over year, marking the service's first annual growth since the first quarter of 2019. The entertainment company originally launched WWE Network in February 2014 when it ended its traditional pay-per-view business. Starting in 2022, WWE will produce one signature documentary annually for the WWE Network on Peacock. Also available on WWE Network are about 100 hours of original series like Steve Austin's Broken Skull Sessions, Undertaker's The Last Ride, and the recently premiered WWE Icons in-ring shows like NXT, NXT UK, and WWE 205 Live, as well as replays of Raw and SmackDown WWE Network archives, including every WWE, WCW, and ECW pay-per-view event in history, and documentaries including WWE 24, WWE Untold, and WWE 365. Peacock, which NBCU launched nationwide in July, attracted nearly 22 million user signups in the first 6 months of wide release, according to the company. Eligible customers of Comcast Xfinity X1 and Flex and Cox's Contour, a total of about 24 million households, get Peacock Premium included at no additional cost. Peacock's content lineup includes a slate of originals, libraries of TV shows, including all of the episodes of The Office and Yellowstone, and films from Universal Pictures, Focus Features, DreamWorks Animation, Illumination, and other studios. In addition, the OTT service provides news, sports, late night programming, Spanish language, and reality from across NBC Universal. Peacock Premium now offers more than 47,000 hours of programming. NBCU also offers a free ad-supported version of Peacock with a trimmed-down bucket of content. So that's from Variety. So it's real simple for you as a fan. Peacock will be $4.99 with ads, $9.99 without ads, and that will be the only place you can watch WrestleMania and SummerSlam, etc. Again, I knew this was going to happen. Let's see if The Wrap, who is also reporting this, let's see if they have any different information. They says membership will include all pay-per-view events, yes, including WrestleMania, beginning with March 21st's Fastlane. Either way is a good deal for wrestling fans. WWE Network alone costs $9.99. Financial terms of the deal were not disclosed. In the third quarter of 2020, WWE Network averaged 1.6 monthly paid subscribers. Last month, NBCU CEO Jeff Shell said Peacock had passed 26 million signups. Those are not all paid, however. Comcast has projected Peacock will have up to 35 million subscribers by the end of 2024. When WWE Network rolls into Peacock, it will bring more than 17,000 hours of new, original, and library content in both on-demand and 24/7 programmed channel. Peacock itself boasts more than 47,000 hours of programming. It's going to go into the same quotes, same stuff that they said in the other video. Peacock is available on Roku, Apple devices, Google, etc. Okay, so let's talk about this. So this was inevitable. This was inevitable because as Disney jumped into the streaming services and as NBC jumped into the streaming services, it's becoming cable all over again. The reason cable got so expensive is because there kept being new channels, right? There was always Showtime and Cinemax and HBO, and you had to pay more to get those channels. And they're basically replicating that same process just via streaming services. So it makes sense for WWE, which is smaller than NBC, smaller than Disney, to basically just say, okay, who's willing to buy us out? And NBC was the obvious choice because it was either going to be NBC or Disney. So NBC was the obvious choice because they had that long history with USA Network and with NBC in the past with Saturday Night's Main Event. It makes sense. Now, NBC is not buying the network. This is the one thing I want people to understand. It is not like the network they're not buying it. They're just buying the rights. They're buying the streaming rights. So at the end of this agreement, WWE could then pull all of their content away from NBC and go back to the network, which they probably won't do. Likely, it'll just be this way for a while. And what I mean by that is different people will likely bid on the network, much like they bid on Raw, SmackDown, etc. They've likely made a lot of fucking money off this. I'm telling you, they likely made a lot of fucking money off this. Because if you look at the cost of the network and then say how much money it's $10 a pop, right? Times 1.1 million. That's 10 times 1.1 million. That's how much WWE was making. Then they also likely factored in some of the costs for for future events, growth potential, and all this sort of stuff is likely factored in. So you're looking at a deal that was probably quite striking and likely worth it. And of course, it gives WWE some a lot of flex. It gives them less flexibility because now that they're on NBC, they're likely going to have some kind of NBC oversight on what they do, which I'm pretty sure they don't care about because they've had NBC oversight for a long time. But this is NBC directly, so you're going to be looking at maybe some changes, maybe in content, because now you have to justify selling this product to NBC. Now they had so so I mean, when these deals are done, it has to be interesting on both sides, right? It has to be something NBC is willing to invest in, but it also has to be WWE something they're willing to invest in. WWE gets access to 22 million viewers, streamers. That's online, right? So if Peacock is already had by 22 million people, but those people do not watch WrestleMania or because they don't want to pay $9.99 or whatever the hell, then the people who are more likely to watch it now increase, right? So you give people the option to watch WWE, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, the Royal Rumble, etc. You give them that option. There will be more people watching it, and so that's a good thing. The bad thing is that it's NBC, and NBC sucks. That's the bad thing. NBC sucks. So it depends on your taste. If you want to pay $4.99 for ads, that would suck. But $9.99 without ads is the same product. Personally, I don't like Peacock. I don't have it, but NBC doesn't have anything I want to watch, so I don't care about it. So for me, I don't feel the idea. I don't like it. But if I only have to pay $4.99 for something I'm paying $9.99 for now, that's a win for me. Or I can pay $9.99 and not have to deal with the ads. It depends on how much you hate or love ads. If you are independently wealthy, I guess, or if you're just somebody who just hate commercials with every fiber of his being, you can watch the premium tier, $9.99, no ads at all. Now, for somebody like me who watches old pay-per-views and stuff like that, old pay-per-views, old TV shows, on the network, then the idea of trying to sit down and watch ECW with ads, it's like, oh God, That's also an interesting thing, because now you have people who are going to have access to stuff that is not particularly politically correct, and you're going to have people who are going to have more access to it. So what's the likelihood of somebody stumbling across some ECW pay-per-view where, Joey Styles is calling Nicole Bass a tranny and getting offended and going to NBC like, oh my God, one of your shows has a guy calling a man a woman a man, and, all that type of stuff. I don't know. It's likely to happen. Is it going to be enough to affect the deal? Probably not. But you never can tell, because everyone these days are more sensitive to these sorts of subjects. There have been people who have gone through Netflix, and for people who say like you're worried about nothing, there have been people who watched Netflix and complained and got channels, episodes of TV shows taken down. It won't take that many people to get on Twitter and say, look at what NBC is posting into our children's heads. And it'd be like some ECW shit with Sandman pouring beer down a woman's face, or, somebody calling, stuff like that. So I'm worried about the ECW content. Like, how far are they going to let that stuff go? And to be quite honest, some of the Smoky Mountain Wrestling content, because a lot of that stuff is really rough too, and that was syndicated. Both ECW and Smoky Mountain Wrestling was syndicated, which meant that it was posted on various local networks. So it wasn't vetted by cable companies. So now you have NBC, who has access to all this stuff, some of which is not going to be politically correct. and you're likely going to get a lot of people complaining. Especially if their kids are watching. Now, it's really good for people who have kids. WWE Network is going to be great. And it's convenient. So this is a convenient thing as far as the deal is concerned. You don't have to pay for network and Peacock. But of course, if you didn't want Peacock, you're kind of forced to get it. But it is what it is, I guess. I'm more concerned about the censorship part of it. If you don't own any of these events on tape or DVD, who knows what might happen as far as they might start deleting stuff. There might be even more music changes. Who knows? And that's the question. If I get to ask Vince McMahon a question, or Nick Khan get to ask them a question, I would say, does NBC have the ability to censor the network? Can they go in and say, these episodes of ECW TV are completely, we're not going to show them, we're taking them off. We don't like this event, we're taking it off the network. We're taking it off of Peacock. If they have that ability, then you're screwing wrestling fans, because they have the ability to go into what we're paying for and changing it. Can they go in and change the music rights? Can they go in and change the music? Can they go in and blur things? Like WWE was already doing that stuff. They were already editing a lot of the historic stuff. You go watch WCW and you'd hear Chris Jericho's WWE theme. It's like, that's ridiculous. That was WWE being WWE. In some cases, you would even have the WWF itself being bleeped out on the network. Like, they couldn't even say WWF. Of course, later on, that sort of changed. But, you have to worry about that stuff. Can NBC start deleting content? Because then people may start actually attacking NBC and saying, oh, you need to take so-and-so off the network. You need to take such and such off your channel, or off of Peacock or whatever. And while WWE might not have done it, NBC might do it. And that's something I might think you might want to consider, because it could be anything. It could be Chris Benoit. It could be Jimmy Snuka. It could be ECW events. It could be violence against women. It could be any number of things that you could say, well, NBC is just going to go and start changing stuff. And if you're paying for it, then, who knows? That's the question that I want to ask, is, can NBC edit the network? Because if you give them editing power, then you have access to more people. You're going to have folks who are going to be trying to have the network edited. It's inevitable. As opposed to them just not buying it because they didn't want that stuff and just canceling the network. Also, you get that canceled WWE network doesn't work anymore, right? It doesn't work because it's not WWE shit anymore. But you will have people who are saying, cancel NBC Peacock, cancel NBC Peacock, and trying to get NBC to force WWE to do stuff. Like, I've seen that with people who are saying, Raw is so bad, we need to attack USA Network. So it's going to be people who are going to say, I hate this event, cancel NBC Peacock, and it's going to be a bunch of wrestling fans. And it's going to be more than enough of them to get it trending on Twitter 100 times, because that's basically what happens with the network. But I'm pretty sure they kind of insulated against that kind of thing. But just be on the lookout for it, because we already know this is how people think. And this is how people are going to try to utilize this system. So you have to look at the power. NBC is now going to be in control of your network, which means they're going to be able to edit your network if they have that ability, which of course could assign that they can't. And then you're also going to have the people who are going to say, cancel WWE, cancel NBC Peacock because of something that took place on Raw or SmackDown or on WrestleMania, or some B pay-per-view that I don't like. Something happened in Saudi Arabia, cancel this. And that's also going to be another thing. NBC is funding WWE, which goes to Saudi Arabia, and they're supporting the Saudi princes and all that political bullshit. You're going to be dealing with all of that, okay? And it's all just going to, and NBC might not want to deal with it. So that's going to be the question. Are they going to be taking down stuff? That's one question. So you shouldn't be worried about the pricing, but you should be worried about, one, commercials. If you don't want commercials, you have to pay more. Two, NBC editing the network. Three, the political aspects of it, whether people are going to be able to use that WWE is now on another platform. Can they begin to edit WWE or put efforts upon WWE to do whatever they want via putting pressure not on WWE, which is a little resilient to this kind of thing, but on NBC. Like, NBC don't know what they paid for. Like, they know they paid for the streaming rights and all that stuff. But there's some unhinged people that come with that, right? There's a lot of unhinged wrestling fans. And those are the same kind of people who, decided they were going to snitch on Kenny Omega and John Moxley. They've been snitching on WWE for years. They're going to continue. Every negative thing WWE does is going to affect NBC because it's going to affect the networks. Therefore, it's going to affect NBC. And there's going to be a lot of stuff going on, a lot of shit, and I'm really thinking about how that's going to play into it. But it's a good move from WWE's part. It's smart. It got them out of the rat race of trying to compete with Disney and NBC and all of these different HBO, everybody that now has a streaming service. It got them out of that rat race. They don't have to worry about that shit anymore. But they do now have somebody they have to appeal to, which is probably not the best idea. But it's good for the wrestling fans because they have to pay for less. And it may put some type of effort into WWE to put on better shows, which is always the case because you always want to have more people going to the network, more people going to Peacock. So that's a positive. So we'll see. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Like this video, share this video, subscribe to this channel. Use the hashtag 3CountCommentaries to spread the good word of 3Count Commentaries. I'd like to thank you guys for your time, and I'll talk to you guys later.